Hello there, this is Sterling with the Pariah News Network. Typically, I make political videos, kind of political commentary, or I'll like expose some sort of nugget of information I found on the internet, do like an expose or just conspiracy related videos, political conspiracy and all that. But today I thought I would kind of change it up a bit due to the fact that I recently went through a loss. My father passed away recently. It was last month. I actually found him. We hadn't heard from my dad in a while, and everyone was getting concerned. I went down there, and sure enough, he passed away. And it's been really rough lately. It's been really hard going to work and keeping my chin up and um, just staying strong and confident. And in no way am I like a professional at anything really. Like even at my job, I'm not the best at, honestly. I mean, I'm at work now. I'm not I don't have a whole lot of experience with death. I've been, there's been a few different people that have passed away in my family, but I'm not an expert. But I just feel like over the course of the past month, plus, that I've been dealing with this, there's been some things that I've been using. I've been observing the way I've been feeling and the things I've been doing to help me cope with the fact that my dad passed away. Um, it's just like a list of things you have to either do or, you know what I mean? It's just things to help you cope with someone, with the loss of someone that was really close to you. And I have a little list here of things that I think would help you if you went through a really difficult time like I am where you lost someone that's very close to you. Okay, so number one, my advice is to stay busy. Don't just sit around at home. Don't sit on the couch. Don't do nothing. Don't sit around feeling sorry for yourself and crying 24/7. You need to stay busy. You need to keep your mind active and continue doing things. You need to stick to your schedule if you have one. Wake up, make the bacon, cook the coffee. Make the coffee. Do all of the things that you would normally before the person had passed away. So just stay busy, keep your mind active. Of course, you need time to relax, just like you would in normal life. But still, it's not good to just sit around and mope and be sad because that's when those dark, negative, bad thoughts start popping up in your head. You start blaming yourself and all of this. It's just not healthy. So number two, my second piece of advice for dealing with death is allow room for sadness, right? So this is something I think guys would have to deal a lot. They would deal with this more because there's more of like a societal pressure, I guess you could say, to suppress your feelings a bit if you're a guy. Of course, it's kind of changing, but I still feel like, being a manly man, being masculine, you're not supposed to always express your feelings all the time. But in all actuality, you need to be sad. If it means crying, go ahead cry. If it means whatever it means, allow yourself to be sad. Don't punish yourself if you aren't sad. I mean, don't punish yourself if you're sad. Don't, oh, I need to get my crap together. You don't be like that. Understand that you're dealing with a lot and that it's something that as a human you're just gonna have emotions. It's so allow yourself to be sad. Don't beat yourself up for being sad, but at the same time, don't allow it to linger. Um, Number three, my third piece of advice is communicate the way you feel. Now, for those of you that don't like to open up, right? Like I'm not big into opening up myself. Trust me, I'm really not big into telling people how I'm feeling inside because I feel like a lot of the time I don't want to tell people. It should stay in here. But so for like me, for example, if you don't feel comfortable sharing, literally just communicate it out loud. Literally just tell the air how you're feeling. Like, oh God, I miss him so much. I can't believe this is happening. You know what I mean? Like literally, physically get it out because there's like the way you're feeling needs to be transcribed and translated into actual words. It's gonna feel so much better if you can actually get the way you feel out into the real physical world. So I don't even know why. It just feels good. It's liberating if you actually communicate the way you're feeling. Whether it's to the air or whether it's to someone, it doesn't matter. Fourth piece of advice is to pay your respects to the one that has passed away. This is obviously going to differ from person to person, but look, man. you got to keep it real. Simple as that. You got to pay respect to the person that passed away in the way that they saw fit. If they wanted to be cremated, cremate them. If they wanted their head frozen, freeze their damn head. It's not about you at this point. Of course you're going to be sad and you're dealing with a loss and you're the one that's alive, So I mean, you're going to care about how you feel, but damn, you need to pay respect. You need to be you need to be transparent with what the person that passed away would have wanted. Whatever they would have wanted, you got to do it. You got to respect the person that dies, and you do that by keeping it real. Basically, be authentic with the way that you choose to. Be authentic with the way that you go about doing that. So, number 5, my 5th piece of advice is do the things. So if someone passes away, let's say like when my grandpa passed away, right? My grandpa passed away, then my mom took over the yard work that he used to do. Every day, or I'm sorry, not every day, every week he would mow the lawn and, water all the plants and all that. And that was something that he took a lot of pride in doing. It's something that he felt it was necessary for him to do every single week. It's kind of like a schedule he had where he did that because it was important to him and it was important to his wife. And he passed away. And that work needed to be done by someone. The yard still needed to be watered. The yard was still alive. You know what I mean? The yard still needed to be mowed and all that, and the trees trimmed and all that. All of that still needed to happen. It didn't pass away along with the person. So do the chores or do whatever it was, the daily routine or activity that the person passed away, do it. So like with my dad, for example, he loved plants and he had a bunch of fish. I do everything I can to make sure that the fish have enough food, they're staying alive, and that his yard looks great, well-maintained, and really pretty. You know what I mean? Because that was something he took a lot of pride in. He wanted that. He loved doing that. And it would just break his heart if he knew that all of that stuff died. So do the chores that the deceased person used to do. It's going to make you feel better, and it makes you feel empowered, and it makes you feel like you're paying respects to the person that passed away. Number 6th piece of advice, very important. This, avoid silence. Avoid damn silence. So if you're sad, the worst thing that can happen to you is if you're stuck in a room that, it's a lonely, empty room and there's not a sound that can be heard. So that way you're left with you and your thoughts. And that's all you have. There's no stimuli, you know what I mean? So avoid silence when you're dealing with a death, because it's just, again, like I said earlier about, I forgot what it was I was referencing earlier, but yeah, just avoid silence. It's going to make you go crazy. It's going to create a lot of bad thoughts in your head, negative thoughts. You're going to start blaming yourself and all sorts of BS. Avoid silence. Make sure that you listen to the news or some music, your favorite podcast, whatever it is. Just make sure that you're getting that stimuli through your ear. And finally, the last thing on my list, hardest thing to do, is acceptance. You're gonna have to accept the fact that the person passed away. It just happened. You're gonna have to accept the fact that person is dead, and you're not gonna get them back. It's not some conspiracy. When you're, when someone dies, it's like crazy close to you, and it just like really hits you hard. Initially, when you find out, you're gonna think, no, it's a joke. It's some conspiracy or something. Like literally, you'll start thinking all sorts of outlandish stuff. No, you need to accept the fact. After you've been given enough time to grieve and do some of the chores that the deceased person used to do, and all of this stuff, and communicate the way you feel, at the end of everything, you're gonna have to accept the fact that the person has passed away. There's no way around it. I was talking to someone just now about this. Most things in life you can kind of scrape by. I'm late on my internet every month, and I owe a flat $100 every month just because of how late I am. My internet doesn't get turned off, so I'm kind of cheating the system in a way. I'm getting what I want, and they're getting what they want because they're getting money and more money, and because I'm getting the internet's not getting shut off. With death, it's not like that. You can't negotiate. You can't haggle with the Grim Reaper. When someone dies, that's it. They're gone. It's the most ultimate thing in the world. And that's how the world is. The world it doesn't take you into consideration. The world happens. The world right now, there can be a solar flare that comes across, just a huge solar flare and wipes everyone out on the world. The world doesn't care. The world doesn't take your feelings into consideration. And you're going to have to accept that and realize that. The world moves on. You're going to be okay. It's going to be sad. Ultimately, you're going to be okay. And you just got to remember the person for what they were and who they are. And I'm still dealing with that myself. Anyway, that is it. Though that was my 7 pieces of advice for people that recently experienced just a devastating personal loss. If you are here, trying to seek out some advice for a family member, a dad, a mom, a sister, a brother, a grandmother, whatever. If there's someone that passed away that was really close to you recently, my most sincerest condolences to you. It's a very hard, very difficult thing to deal with, and I'm still dealing with it myself. So, Dad, I love you very much. Always will love you. You will always be in my mind, and I'd like to, not a very good video to dedicate to him, but love you, Dad. And that's it. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great day. Stay strong and subscribe. That was really terrible.